For the first time in 4 years, Tech football is back in the top 25. Thanks so much for joining us today on Double T Insider. As always, Adam Doyle, Taylor Peters. Adam, you just cannot talk enough about the fast start that Tech football was able to get out to Saturday and that 65-19 victory on the road at Kansas. 21 points in the first quarter. You can't ask for more than that.
Right, and I think everything about this team is so different this year. Every different area of this football team complements each other. It's not just about the offense, which is what most people think about with Tech, and not just passing, which is what most people think about with the offense. Obviously, we rushed for over 300 yards at Kansas, lined it up and said, stop us if you can. But defensively, played extremely well and did what you had to do on special teams. And this team said they're not even sure they've played their best game yet. And that obviously is something to look forward to.
And 11 o'clock kicks can be kind of hard, but back-to-back games this year on the road, they've played an 11 o'clock kick and they've come out to a really good start. So that is just huge progress moving forward. But 4 turnovers is a big deal for Texas Tech. After 10 games last season, they had 10 turnovers, and now we're in the 5th game of the year and we've got 14. So I think that Coach Gibbs and just his urgency in pushing turnovers has made a huge difference.
Right, +9 in the turnover margin for this team this year, which is crazy to think about. I know we've had to be very patient with the defense and letting Coach Gibbs and his staff put together what they're wanting to do, and now we're seeing the fruits of that. This defense is a bend, don't break, and force you into mistakes, and 3 times out of 5 games this year, we have a defensive touchdown, and we force a turnover in every single game. That's huge. It's giving the offense a lot more time to just kind of do what they want in every different facet.
4 touchdowns for Desmond Nisby, and he was obviously big. Justin Stockton was big in that game, but Desmond Nisby earned Big 12 Newcomer of the Week this year. This is the first time ever that Texas Tech in 4 consecutive weeks has had a player receive Big 12 honors. We've talked about Jadion High after that Arizona State game, blocks a punt, Special Teams Player of the Week at Houston. Dakota Allen, Defensive Player of the Week, and then last week DeMarcus Fields, Newcomer of the Week, and then of course Desmond Nisby this week. But that just goes to show on all sides of the ball just huge progress. 3 of those 4 players didn't even get playing time last year.
Right, like I was saying, every side of the ball has been featured in that so far. 1 special teams, 2 defense, and obviously an offensive as well. New players are making a big impact, and the entire team is playing together, which makes this team that much more dangerous.
Texas Tech football, an 11 o'clock kick on the road again this weekend, but Texas Tech soccer will be here at home. Adam, a tough defeat on the road, 3-0 loss to Baylor, but you like to know that Coach Stone and his players still have a little bit of season ahead of them, that they're going to be able to kind of turn around and respond in a big way this week at home.
Right, a few matches left in Big 12 play, and obviously 3 straight defeats is tough for this soccer program, but still, everything's still out in front of them. Can't afford any more losses. Huge games at home against Oklahoma State and on the road at West Virginia. This is still a very young team, especially in the forward area, but you don't worry about Coach Stone's teams. You know he's great team, great program, great recruiter. They've got the pieces. They'll get it put together. Saturday,
Texas Tech volleyball also here at home, 1 o'clock hosting TCU, and this is a big opportunity. This is another program that really needs to jump back on there, and they, like we mentioned with soccer, they still have a lot of season left. They're only in their 4th, 5th conference game right now, and so they're somebody who last year struggled to win sets. Now they're winning those sets. They just need to put it all together and be able to pull out some more matches.
Right, tough loss last Wednesday at Oklahoma. That was an aberration. That wasn't what this team was about. They go to Kansas State. They play 5 sets with the Wildcats and don't quite get the win there, but still, look what you have in front of you. TCU, a big match this Saturday for volleyball there, and then you got to host Texas and Kansas. So this one this weekend is huge for this volleyball team.
Don't forget to go to TexasTech.com for more ticketing information. Still to come on Double T Insider, we go into the trenches with Texas Tech football with Sights and Sounds.
Double T Insider is brought to you in part by Plains Capital Bank. Bank with confidence. The Red Raider Club. Your support, their effort, our fearless champions. Texas Farm Bureau. Register today for your chance to deliver the game ball and receive a VIP experience at a Texas Tech home football game. Contest details available at TexasTech.com.
We've embraced it. You know, Houston was the same way, and we're going to have another one coming up. So that's what it is. You get in and get it started early and come out firing. And this team has really taken on that mentality of getting up and getting ready to go to business. And so I don't think is a worry for any of us anymore, the way they've attacked the previous two.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. Adam, we've talked about just the challenges of going on the road and having an 11 o'clock kick. It's not easy to get your team so focused, but as they've shown against Houston and they showed us last week against Kansas, that they have the discipline to be able to do that.
Absolutely. In the Houston game, we didn't get off to the explosive offensive start, but we did see it against Kansas. 21 points to start that game. And the biggest thing that stands out to me, only 2 penalties for the entire game. When you score 65 points and you're that disciplined that early on a Saturday, there's a lot to be excited about.
And the excitement that's generated on the sideline is a direct reflection of the number of points on the board. I had a chance to be there on the sideline with the football team. Take a look at Sights and Sounds.
Kansas and Texas Tech, both teams hungry for their first Big 12 win of the season.
About to change the game. We talking about we're gonna get a lot of opportunities, right? Yeah. Now we got it. Yeah. All right.
Now Stockton and King in the backfield.
Run, go. Okay. Touchdown. Nice shot. Hello, baby. Go. Hello, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Keep it on the ground like that.
Stay on the same page. We just got to run the ball. We just run the ball, get manageable third down. We're fine. Okay, that's all we got to do. That's the one thing we can't control.
There he goes. Nisby's got plenty of room to run and may have the second score of the day.
Chill out all day, baby. Chill out. Chill out. Good job. Oh. They're gonna go. We go. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Shimonek on the move. Fires wide open. End zone. Touchdown.
Hey, chill out, boy. Chill out, boy.
Play action. Bender's pass intercepted. We'll bring this back past the original line of scrimmage, and it's Dakota Allen still on his feet.
I'm trying to grab me a pick too. Right now. No, we just said, get a turnover.
Flip the script in relief of Bender, and he gets through a pick. That ball is stripped. Justice Parker. Quickly to throw, that's picked off. And Texas Tech gets it right back. That's the third turnover of the day for the Kansas Jayhawks. He's it downfield, got a man, QT, touchdown, Texas Tech.
Some of that. Get paid, young fella. Get paid, boy. What you talking about? See you all day.
That ball's tipped and almost picked off by one of the big uglies up front, Eli Howard.
Pass is tipped and incomplete.
Good job, D-Will. Nice job, D-Will. Way to go. Good game, Chris. Good game, Chris. Strive for honor evermore. Long live the Matadors. Let me have that jersey. You can have the jersey.
And you see how just explosive the offense was there. A game like Kansas is a perfect opportunity to kind of be able to spread the wealth a little bit. You had 9 guys get a catch in that game, which is huge because not only are you working in some guys that you haven't had an opportunity to work in as much up to this point, but you're seeing some things from still your big-time players like Kiki QT and even Derek Willis.
Right, and we're kind of weirded out sometimes when we see our quarterback threw for less than 250 yards, but Nick Shimonek was extremely efficient, 19 of 24 for 233 yards, and like you said, he dished it out to that many different wide receivers. That's extremely tough to defend, and obviously when the running game is doing what it is that it's doing, Nick doesn't have to do it all, and that's a perfect recipe for this offense.
And Sunday night, Coach Kingsbury talked to the local media, and he laughed and said, I've been telling you guys for 3 years that I've been trying to run the ball this much. And so just to be able to hear him say, man, this is something we've been trying to do, we just haven't had the personnel to, and now we can.
It's gratifying to finally see it come to fruition. When you line it up in the pistol formation a number of different times and you just run it down a team's throat, it's extremely tough to defend. 300 yards speaks for itself.
Still to come on Double T Insider, we get to know a young man who's on the cusp of having a breakout season. Justice Parker is next.
Quickly to throw, that's picked off. Stanley got it picked, he threw it right to Parker. And Texas Tech gets it right back. That's the third turnover of the day for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. Justice Parker is a name that we hadn't heard much leading into this year. He had big plans for himself this season and made a huge statement at Kansas last weekend. But Adam, he's only the second player on this Tech defense who has forced more than one turnover in a single game.
Right. He is really a microcosm of what this entire defense is. Anybody can step up at any time. And schematically, we're starting to see, like we talked about, David Gibbs' defense really blossom. And 47 points already this year off of turnovers, and we've scored off some plays. He had a forced fumble, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and an interception. He's just one piece, many different elements to this defense that have already come to fruition this year.
And this is a young man who transferred to Texas Tech after an outstanding freshman season at Texas Lutheran, where he was all-conference. But when I asked him what made him want to transfer after such success in his first year playing college football, and he said he simply wanted more.
That ball is stripped. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Justice Parker.
Our coaches are just telling us to keep our composure, get the ball back. Bang, bang play. We ran into each other, and when I saw it on the ground, I was like, gotta score it.
His story is pretty incredible. He was down there in Texas Lutheran in Seguin, Texas.
Played there for one semester. I just wanted more for myself.
Started at the very bottom, earned every rep he's got.
I didn't have any stars. I didn't have any offers. No one really wanted me. I was too slow. Didn't weigh enough. They used every excuse they could not to give me anything.
He had every reason to give up or quit, this, that, and the other, and he's kept fighting, kept battling. And then on game days, he has a nose for the football.
Quickly to throw, that's picked off.
Talk to him all the time. When you get your opportunity, take advantage of your opportunities, and Justice did.
Probably has the most turnovers in practice out of everyone on the defense.
Don't ever let someone tell you where you're supposed to end up or what you're supposed to be or who you're supposed to be. People told me my whole entire life that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't fast enough, I couldn't make the plays, that I wouldn't be anything at the Division I level, so they wouldn't offer me. I mean, I strive every day just to prove every single one of them wrong.
Coach Gibbs, in his third season here at Texas Tech, whenever we were talking to him on the weekend, we just asked, and how big has the turnover margin really affected you guys as a defense? And he said, it's taken this long for us to make turnovers a part of our culture. And that has just come on in such a huge way. I mean, you've got 4 turnovers in that game, 2 of them by Justice Parker, but then one of those was from a freshman, Enrico Jeffers, which is just outstanding to me.
Yeah, in the neighborhood of 10 different players have forced a turnover this year, which is just crazy to think about. You talked about it, +9 in the turnover margin. But just in that game specifically against Kansas, it got to about 35-19 in that game, and you thought, oh, Jayhawks might sneak in it. Back-to-back turnovers forced by Justice. One of them he takes back to the house, and we go on a 30-0 run to end that game. Instead of it being a game, that's a blowout. That's how this defense makes a big difference.
And back to Rico, I wanted to mention too, this is the largest mid-year signing class that maybe Texas Tech has ever had, and Rico Jeffers was not one of those. I mean, he was in high school his spring semester, and now he comes in, he's here on campus in June, and now by the beginning of October, he's already making a huge impact for this defense. And Coach Gibbs said that he may be one of the most impressive players that Coach Gibbs has seen at his age. Well, still to come on Double T Insider, we catch up with head soccer coach Tom Stone as they look to continue conference play here at home. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Double T Insider. Texas Tech soccer right now 1-3-1 in conference play, but with an opportunity to bounce back after a loss on the road to Baylor last weekend. They host Oklahoma State on Friday. That'll be a really tough match.
Sure, 8-5-1 overall for the Red Raiders. Not really what they've wanted the last couple weeks, but still everything out in front of them. Oklahoma State this weekend on Friday right here at the John Walker Soccer Complex. You've still got West Virginia, a top 5 team in the country, and Oklahoma left on the schedule. A lot left for this Texas Tech soccer team. 4 Big 12 games left on their schedule. I went out to the Texas Tech Soccer Complex earlier this week and caught up with the head coach, Tom Stone. Welcome out to the beautiful John Walker Soccer Complex. That's the head coach, Tom Stone. Coach, we appreciate your time. Obviously, it's been tough sledding lately, 1-3-1 in Big 12 play, but still a lot ahead of you. What is your message to your team as it really gets tough down the stretch?
You know, you just got to stay the course. 2 of the 3 losses we've taken recently, we've played really well. You know, it took 2 worldies to beat us in Austin. and those were 2 well-taken shots, but both were defendable prior to the shooter taking her chance. And then, you know, we were poor against TCU. We got to own that. We just didn't play well. And then played really well again down in Waco. All those, you know, 2 of those 3 games were on the road. So the team's got a lot going for it. We've got a lot of soccer left, and so there's no point in getting distracted. You got to stay on track, still polish the things that we need to do to get more points and set ourselves up for the postseason.
Oklahoma State comes into town this weekend, top 25 team, basically best friends with their head coach. You know them, they know you well. What is the key? Obviously a good crowd going to be here, a crucial game. What's the key to beating the Pokes?
Well, you know, I think they're a lot like Texas. Things have just fallen their way. Everything they've done has worked. They're on a roll. They're full of confidence. And they've already secured themselves into the postseason. So in our case, we're still fighting for that. We've got to scrap through it. We've got to realize that this is a dangerous team to play against. Some are saying they've got the best front line in the Big 12. I think West Virginia and Texas and Texas Tech would have something to say about that, but their front line is dangerous, and their back 3 are stopping just about everybody. So this is a team that's got to get out of rhythm. You've got to be able to hold on to the ball against them, and you really can't expose yourself because when they commit that group going forward, they've been deadly on the counter.
Coach, appreciate your time, as always.
You got it. Thank you.
The chill is in the air out here at the John Walker Soccer Complex. I guess fall has finally made its way to Lubbock, Coach. Either way, Friday night, right here at the John Walker Soccer Complex, we want you here. Red Raiders and Pokes, 7 p.m. It's live on Fox Sports Net. This place is going to be wild. Should be a great environment. If I can think of a remedy for a tough stretch for Tech soccer, it's going to be playing at home in front of the John Walker Soccer Complex crowd. Should be packed on Friday night against a good Oklahoma State team. They need a win. I think they'll get it.
And the good news is that you still have all the talent. I mean, you've got everything. You've got all the pieces. It's just putting it together, which has been the challenge. But we have faith in Tom Stone and Texas Tech soccer. Stay with us. We'll let you know what else is happening on campus this weekend with the schedule. We'll be right back on Double T Insider.
Double T Insider was brought to you in part by Plains Capital Bank. Bank with confidence. The Red Raider Club. Your support, their effort, our fearless champions. Texas Farm Bureau. Register today for your chance to deliver the game ball and receive a VIP experience at a Texas Tech home football game. Contest details available at texastech.com.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. Texas Tech football, as we mentioned, back on the road this week, an 11 o'clock kick at West Virginia. Adam, do you have a bold prediction for us?
I do. I think special teams comes in a big way. That's how you're going to win a game on the road. I think we block a kick and we have a special teams touchdown. I'm not sure that they're going to be tied together, but I think both happen.
Okay, my bold prediction is I would love to see Eli Howard get his first turnover. He almost had it against Kansas. It was so close, and you would love to see that from him. So that's my bold prediction.
Wait, you'd like it to happen, or it's going to happen?
It's going to happen.
Okay, all right, there it is. That's the
I have
bold
all the
prediction.
confidence in you, Eli.
All right, taking a look at the schedule. Texas Tech soccer at home this weekend, taking on Oklahoma State this Friday at 6 p.m. You can watch it live on Fox Sports Net. Also, Texas Tech volleyball in town as well this Saturday, taking on TCU at 1 p.m. You can head to texastech.com and watch that one online if you have a subscription to texastech.tv.
Yeah, and don't forget to go to texastech.com anyway for all your updates, ticket information, game information, for features with players and coaches as well. And don't forget to follow us on social media. For Adam Doyle, I'm Taylor Peters, and this is Double T Insider.